Sorry about that. Hey, everybody.
Great.
This is Dr. Tim Peck here
Surprise.
with Lori Allen running for Indiana 8 in U.S. Congress, who just found out that this is a live podcast as I hit live rather than not live.
Great.
But we're here on a really important historic day in Indiana, in the United States, in which gerrymandering is on the table and a final vote in the Indiana Senate is coming to fruition. In about a half an hour, they will start debating. And so those things affect so many Hoosiers, and certainly going to affect these two Hoosiers. So, Mary, how are you feeling today about the fact that when you jumped into this a year ago, everything might look different tomorrow.
Right.
What does it feel like?
Yeah. There's just some anxiousness, of course, but like you had just said, we were talking ahead of this show to say we can control what we can control. And that's something that I've been saying all along ever since these conversations started, a few months ago, and saying, well, okay, we're going to deal with the information we have today. And we're going to make our way around to, in the 8th district, it's 21 counties, and say, we're going to keep going. We're going to build those relationships, and we're going to visit as many as we can, as often as we can, with the information we have today.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing, even up until, tonight, I'm supposed to be in Greene County. So
is Greene County still in?
Part of it. Yes, I think part of it. Last week
it.
I was in Vermilion. That is one that would be taken out. But it isn't yet, and no relationship building is bad, and no matter what happens, I've gained some friends up in Vermilion County. So
absolutely. And you and I met in Orange County, which is in Indiana 8 and would be in Indiana 9. It's a trade of counties, and that's where French Lick is. We met at a conference there. You came on the podcast then. And you were live then too,
yes.
whether you knew it or not.
I don't know. I think I did that time. Yes, that was a lot of fun. You set up on the porch. Yeah, it was a great.
Yeah, that was great. So met then, hit it off, and got to know you. But let's let our viewers know a little bit more about you too. So, running for Indiana 8, but you are already an elected official in Evansville.
Yes, I'm an Evansville city councilor at large. Was elected in 23.
Okay. And what does that mean in terms of Evansville City Council at large? Is that the entire city votes for you?
Entire city limits.
What's your responsibility? Who are your constituents?
Yeah, that's right. So there's 6 ward seats, so divided up into sections of the city, and then there are 3 at-large seats. I'm one of those, and that means we represent anyone who lives in the city limits of Evansville.
Okay.
So
got it.
Got
it. And are you from Evansville? Is that area, or is this your new home that you've adopted and they've adopted you? What's that?
Yeah, about? Well, that happened 32 years ago. Yeah, so I've lived here longer than I haven't now. I'm originally from Cincinnati, but have lived here for 32 years, and I've accepted them. I think they've accepted me, and this is home. I am definitely a Hoosier these days.
Great.
A couple of folks who knew I'm from Cincinnati, they're like, "Well, who are you rooting for? Ohio State or or Indiana?" I'm like, "Come on,
there's
I know
only one right answer."
That's exactly right. That's right, and I mean it. I meant it when I said IU.
Especially because Bloomington might be in your new district after all of this. So.
That's exactly right. Yeah, for sure.
Watch your tongue for sure.
That's right. I'm not stupid.
And football's one thing, but especially during basketball season. So
yes.
Watch out. Okay. So, and what do the people of Evansville care about? Why did they, invite you into to be someone that represents them?
Yeah. Well, I think municipal elections, they've seen a proven track record in me, and particularly in terms of, community organizing, nonprofit founding. I was a small business owner on Main Street, and so I had developed a lot of relationships. And I think people know, if I say I'm going to do something, I do something, like the whole let your yes be yes, let your no be no type of thing. And just building those relationships. And I think we all want kind of the same things, right? You know, we want public safety, roads, quality parks, quality place. We want to grow our population. We want people to come here and have a home here and be able to thrive here, that type of thing. And honest, and the biggest thing I think people want is to know that you're accessible, to know that they can reach out with an issue, whether you have control of it or not, because there are a lot of things people reach out to us about that I may not have a lot of control over, but
Right.
I can listen, I can advocate, and try to make inroads where I can. So I think that's important.
Okay. And so as you've been traveling Southern Indiana and Southwest Indiana, especially, have you seen differences between the people of Evansville and the other counties that you are seeking to represent?
Sure. I mean, it's a big district. You know, it goes all the way up to, you know, like I was saying, Vermilion Fountain Park, so up north of Terre Haute. So it's very rural. You know, I was just with a group of farmers. They were so gracious to get a good group of them together last night in Gibson County to educate me, you know, to listen. I know you're a farmer, right? Or you live on a farm?
Yes, I live on a farm. Yep. We have corn and soybeans and goats and chickens and the whole thing. Yep.
Yeah. That's corn, soybeans. Yeah, that's exactly I mean, that's Indiana, right? So,
that's
and
Indiana.
that was all the folks last night. And I don't have a lot of personal experience with that, you know, like you're saying, being from Cincinnati, living in Evansville. But I want to learn, and I want to get to know those folks and what are their pain points and challenges. And so I'm grateful for their willingness to spend time with me, to invite me onto their farms,
right.
And to educate me. And as much as possible, I just want to listen and learn.
Yeah.
So there are definitely differences in those two communities for sure.
Sure. And people want to teach, right? People want to share. I think, and that's part of being in the Midwest. It's part of being a Hoosier. Is I found the same thing. Is, you know, not everybody is going to be alike, right? Everybody has their differences in and that's what's great about America, I think, is the fact that we have lots of differing opinions, and those tensions are what push us forward. And I think when we think about gerrymandering, which is really what we should be talking about today, as it's on the minds of so many people, it's this process of kind of shaving off the ways that people might think that are dissonant, that don't really meet the majority in some way. And so you get kind of a uniform way of thinking when you get represented. And I can't think of something more un-American than not having the tensions of various parties. I think about the founding fathers, you know, the guys were a bunch of weirdos, right? They're philosophers and, you know, zealots and people who were, you know, inventors and thought about the world in such a different way, and not in a uniform way, right? You had Jefferson and Hamilton fighting all the way to the grave, and
absolutely
this tension is what makes us great. And to dilute that down to take that tension away, I don't know how we have in America that is as great as it has been.
Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work. That's exactly right. Yeah, I was listening to someone speak recently, and they were talking about that gridlock that happens sometimes, you know, so might slow things down when you have opposing views, but coming together and having that civil discourse and compromise and all of those good things. But that means the best things are getting through when you just have one voice, one opinion. It pushes everything through, even the not so good stuff. So
absolutely,
we need that.
Well, I'm going to bring up this picture here of the old maps and the perhaps new maps. And again, for anyone watching, it's 1:17 Eastern right now, which is another thing to think about, is that you will have
as we try. Yes,
as you're in Central and I'm in Eastern. 1:17 Eastern and 1:30 Eastern, there will be a debate on the floor of the Senate, and then a vote later today. And I also want to point out, even before we talk about this, the rhetoric has been so sharp from Donald Trump and from Republican leadership about Republicans who might resist this and who already have in the Indiana House. That there's been a lot of people kind of following through with that rhetoric on the ground. And last night, Ed Clare, who represents the New Albany area, who's a Republican and a moderate Republican, had a bomb threat to his home.
I hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah,
Gosh.
and we saw on Truth Social last night, Donald Trump kind of going hard at saying he will punish anybody who resists this.
And calling Senator Bray out by name.
Calling Senator Bray out by name, who's been, very brave to stand up for what he believes in, and many others. So I think I was very hopeful that this wouldn't go through. But can we even blame someone for who's getting bomb threats and swatted to their home to be scared for themselves? Or at this point, I don't know, your thoughts are about the
it's
ways of moving forward. Yeah.
Right. No, I 100%. I don't know. I just can't believe that this is a place where we have gotten, where there's that type of threat from the top, rhetoric from the top, calling people out. And then, like you're saying, these things are playing out on the ground. And then you think, well, then if we do submit to those threats, then when do they stop too? I mean, there's that two sides. I can't blame someone either, but at the same time, when we don't continue to stand up and push back, then that tactic is successful. And who's going to,
and honestly, this is what we signed up for, right? As people who want to represent, you think about the tough decisions that might happen that you might have more information about than the general public. You might have, be informed about in certain ways that is even top secret, right? If you sit on one of the armed forces and you're making decisions on these kind of things, that might not be popular in one way. And, thinking about your job versus your duty, those two things are different. And I've often said, like, if I lose my job, I probably did it right when getting into Congress. Right.
That's right. Perspective.
Yeah. And I think that's the purpose of being a representative, is not to be a career politician, but
that's
to make sure that you're representing people and what's needed in the moment. So
that's right.
So
making those hard decisions, whether they're
there's going to be hard decisions. So here we have the old map and the new map. So for those who are watching, get your glasses out.
Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out.
They have the Indiana 8, where you're running Indiana 9, where I am running for U.S. Congress. There are 9 districts in Indiana. You can see in the middle, 7 is all of Marion County, which, or most of Marion County, which is Indianapolis itself, represented currently by Andrew Carson. 1 is represented by Frank Mervan, who is also a Democrat. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 are all represented by Republicans at this time. So 2 to 7. And these new maps here, you'll see in the very middle there that firstly, Indianapolis has been split into 4 districts. Right? Again,
I like your close-up. Way to go on that.
Marion
Great
County. We're very fancy over here at Project Next, as we grow. So Marion County is, again, where Indianapolis is made up of those 9 townships, those 9 boxes that you see. Center Township, the one right in the middle, is the central, is where downtown is. the yellow part is where my district would be, which includes on the western side, Speedway, and then the southwestern side, a more rural area where the airport is, where many people have probably been. And so, yeah, it gets kind of chopped up into 4 there and coming out.
How wild is that for you to think that you where you are would have a portion of Indianapolis?
Yeah. I mean, even when, as I said, the airport, right? I don't fly out of Indy. I fly out of Louisville, right?
Right.
And if I have to go international, I'll fly out of Cincinnati. It just shows you where our culture is connected to here, where our economy is connected to.
That's it. Yes.
Right? Is less so Indianapolis, as more in our area, my area at least, and like you can tell me yours, more about Kentuckiana, and part of the district is about Cincinnati. So that's just the fact that you put the airport alone is it's kind of making my mind swim. So yeah.
And there's such different needs and challenges and focuses in Indianapolis versus, a rural Southern Ohio River town, communities
of people. But and as we said, the economy and what drives it and what's needed to support that economy, and why you go to Congress in terms of getting services and bringing back money to your district and for what it needs.
That's right.
The needs are
Indy's
so
economy
broad.
is its own little ecosystem. And so then to disperse that, I don't know how you properly represent that and advocate for federal funding for all of those things.
This goes forward, we're gonna have to figure out a way, because I do think they're playing with fire here by doing this, right? Because
absolutely,
as you said, this is Indianapolis is where the center of economy is for Indiana. It's also the center of wealth and money in many ways. And now you're splitting it into 4 and bringing that influence it has into other districts, right? So by doing that, you're taking economy, you're hurting Indianapolis itself in some ways, but also allowing it to be influenced in through the rest of the state. And so it's interesting to see how this dynamic will play out. So there we go. So I could talk about my district, but I'd love to speak about yours. Let me blow this up a little bit if we can. So Vanderburgh is where
I live in Vanderburgh County in Evansville.
Evansville is, and then you currently have Terre Haute in your.
That's right, and I think in Vigo County, Terre Haute stays.
Okay. Yep.
It's stays. In both.
And then we have a trade of 3 counties here, you and me.
Yes.
So one of them is Crawford County down on the bottom here on the Ohio River. Then above it is Orange County. And then 2 counties.
You would get those 2 from me.
Yes, those 2 counties would be part of Indiana 9. And then Monroe County would be part of Indiana 8. And that's that's exciting. In a lot of ways, and weird in a lot of other ways, and so Monroe
and it
County,
used to be back in the day. I think I can't remember the year, but Monroe was in 8 at one time. I can't remember when it got carved out, but it did.
And Orange and Crawford used to be in 9, so this has happened before. But what hasn't happened is that little snake head that goes up into Marion County. That's the part that's really out there. And so in order to make that happen, you had to take Monroe and Bloomington out of Indiana 9 and bring it into Indiana 8. But what that does is takes 3 areas, right? Terre Haute, Evansville, Bloomington, all have Democratic representation in many ways. Monroe being like strongly Democratic representation, voting 65, even 70% sometimes on the Democratic side into your district. So what does that mean for
I do have to say I was surprised by that to have Monroe, Vigo, and Vanderburgh County all in one district with having Evansville, Terre Haute, and Bloomington. I think it's risky. you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know if they're just counting on low voter turnout. Uh, I don't know, or they're just
Yeah.
overconfident, which
Yeah. My
I don't know. I think that
interpretation
could
is
backfire.
a national party asking for something and making something happen, and not the local party, and that's why you're
Yeah.
seeing some resistance from Republicans here, but getting overruled, if you will, or
Mhm.
bullied in many ways into making
Yeah.
this vote. And they don't have the context of what locally this means. So they don't really care
Mhm.
locally that this means. It's just based off of numbers,
Right. That's right.
very much. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, this is an odd situation that we're going into. I think. Um, sorry, I'm blocking
Well,
a.
and as
Yeah, go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to say, as bad as this is, and as much as we're continuing to advocate, I was up there on Monday, rallying against it, of course, in Indy, and as bad as this is, one maybe good thing, if I could say, is that we're having this conversation. You
Yeah.
and I have it has kind of caused us to have to connect again
Hmm.
and get to know one another more.
Hmm.
And I also saw Kelly Thompson, who's running in District 3 up in Indy on Monday,
Hmm.
rallying and advocating against this. So it has caused us to connect with one another. And I think that's really important as well.
Sure.
So, and
Absolutely.
knowing that, if this happens, again, I hope it doesn't, I can introduce you to people in Orange and Crawford, those connections that I've made. And I know, and you have been gracious to say you would introduce me to folks in Monroe. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, it makes
we're
stronger,
going to
right?
deal with whatever happens. And it does
Similar.
make us stronger overall.
Yeah. I mean, if only if we allow it to make us stronger, only if we take this as an
Mhm.
opportunity, right? And so,
Right.
yeah, I mean, being connected to Indianapolis obviously is not great for democracy in a lot of ways, because we just said you have to go to Washington and represent literally two different economies, if you will, two different
Absolutely.
areas that aren't connected, only really connected by a state government, but not so much by. They're even in different metropolitan statistical areas, right? They are
Mhm.
different places.
Right.
Um, and so, not great for democracy. But if, as I would say, progressive centrists, right of center people coming together to make the government that they want, this is the moment, this is the opportunity. And gerrymandering
Mhm.
benefits the people in power. And so if you
Right.
can take back the power, now it benefits you.
Mhm.
And so all it means is voting, right? That's what it
Yes,
means. There's
that's exactly what it means.
and all of
And
our
we
districts become overnight more competitive, yours and
Mhm.
mine, based off
Mhm.
pure numbers of what it looked like for the Trump election
Right.
last year. The pure numbers of what it exactly would be, how much Trump would have won by in our districts, is chopped, by a third or so. And so
Mhm.
it becomes really competitive districts. And so you just need to get people together to make it happen. I think
Absolutely.
another point is I've been thinking about is, when's the last time the Republicans had to really fight around here?
Right. They haven't had to. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So, and especially if they're going to have to fight now, but with people who are like, you just cheated, why would I fight for you?
Mhm.
How are they going to mobilize people at the doors? How are they going to get, people to open their wallets? How are they going to get people out to the polls? Like, what is their play going to be for motivating people?
Mhm.
Whereas we're already seeing a surge in volunteers, a surge in people getting involved on the more progressive side.
Absolutely. And we're
Like,
seeing what's happening in elections other places in the country
yeah,
that have
did
been
you see
very encouraging.
Miami last night? Or so,
Yes.
yeah.
Or
So
yeah. Yes.
mayor of Miami,
Been
Democrat
hadn't
won
been a
in the first
Democrat in
time.
like 30 years or something.
over 30 years there hasn't been a
Yeah.
Democrat there, right? So
Right.
and she won pretty handily. I think she had 60% of the
Yeah.
vote. So that's a landslide. That's a
Yeah.
real shift.
Yeah.
I saw one headline that said a seismic shift in Miami, right? And so that seismic shift we're seeing in a lot of elections. And if you applied that
Yes.
shift to the old numbers, excuse me, to the new numbers of the new districts, these districts all go blue. So it is playing with fire right now.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I wonder if
Absolutely.
last night's Miami election at all plays into today and what they're thinking about when they vote. I don't know.
I've thought about a lot of things that have happened in the last, week or so to see what would play into their mindset, like the Supreme Court decision from Texas. I was disappointed in. I think I might have even texted you like, oh man, will that empower them to think this isn't going to get tied up in the courts, so maybe we can go ahead and I don't know. Yeah, I've been asked so many times, how do you think this is going to play out? What do you think the decision is going to be? And it has changed. My confidence level has changed and it's gone up and down. But I'm like, it is anyone's guess. It is so close. I think yeah. I'll just wait to see, and we'll know by the end of today.
Yeah, we will know by the end of today.
And it's been disappointing too to see all of which it's not surprising, of course, but the amendments that have been tried to put through and that it just keep getting, denied. Obviously, just the financial transparency asks of this to say who's gonna pay for this and how much is it going to be,
right?
And there's no transparency in that.
Tremendous amount of work for a lot of elected officials who already don't have huge budgets, which the budgets have gotten cut this year to begin with for clerks in the state. Imagine you
to be done in a short period of time.
Imagine you being the clerk of Marion County and having to organize an election.
I wonder if she's up there with a sign right now.
I'm sure she is. And the whole staff, right? I'm like, what?
That's right.
I mean, you might have people walk out of the office like it's what you're asking them to do. It's it's crazy.
The confusion that it's going to create just on so many, just logistically.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. And so to bring me to 5 o'clock today or so, 7 o'clock, whenever the vote comes through, if it comes through as everything's the same, what does that make you feel? And what do you do?
That's a really good question. I will celebrate.
Yeah,
for sure. That democracy has won. that what is right won the day. Right. I will celebrate that, and we'll just continue with my determination and what we've been doing. We will just continue on the path that we've had and have done. It'll be interesting to be in Greene County tonight and when we can discuss that and celebrate that maybe together. At this point, like I said, with the new map, I think I have all of Greene County currently, but it's a portion, and I haven't looked closely enough to see where the location I will be tonight. If it's a carved out location or if it's one I'll have, it doesn't matter. But but we'll definitely celebrate. And did you ask on the flip side how?
Well, yeah. What does it look like on the flip side? If it's 5, 6, 7 tonight, the vote comes through and your district looks different, what do you do?
We go with that information, and we begin to create our strategy to get to know our new county and help you connect with, like we said, with Orange County. And, I'll be very disappointed, of course, and will lament the fact that Indiana made the wrong decision, that it will be a sad day. I think today is our 209th anniversary of being a state. And I think that will not be the way to celebrate it. That's not who we want to be known. That's not who we are. It's not what we want to be known for. It's stripping away voices. It will be a sad day as far as democracy goes. But as far as my campaign is concerned, I'll just be all the more motivated. I don't know that I can be more motivated than what I am right now, but it might push it.
I think that says it well. You actually just gave me a chill when you say I'll be all the more motivated, because you put words in my mouth of how I feel. I already feel like I'm on a bike with the lock on, and all of a sudden you're going to take it off, and I'm just going to keep, ride. I just feel
That's right.
There's like momentum building to this moment of someone trying to cheat, someone trying to take something away and do the obvious wrong thing for the people that we're trying to represent. Like, it couldn't be more obvious. And so I feel extremely motivated to move forward and make things happen. And already in touch with people in Indianapolis, the medical school and the medical complexes up there are all going to be in my district, which seems like a real oversight to do. I shouldn't say it too loud, I guess, because it's, to have a position going up there and being able to speak to all those people and understand their language and be able to represent those people. And the resources that come with that is going to be a boon for the campaign in many ways. Need to then, talk to the people locally here who just got gerrymandered in such a way that they've been, diluted in some ways. They'll feel and give my almost condolences in some way, and listen to people and let them vent a little bit. And then there's the counties that got cut out. I'm going from 18 to 12 with 3 new counties. So you got math. I think it's 9 counties that would be out. And it might even be 10, actually. I think it's 4 new counties. And so with that, you have to reach out to those people too. Like,
absolutely,
those are relationships I've had for years now and cultivated. And see, how are we going to still work together? What's that relationship look like? Are we going to work across lines? And and you and I have spoken about that a bit too, and you alluded to it. How do you make this be people who are switched over from one to the other, that they can kind of, should they be wearing 2 hats, or should they put their one hat on and go full into it? I don't know what the answer is.
I think if nothing else, there's definitely a transition period. For sure. You're right. And I can't imagine having the longevity of relationships that you have built. You've been in this race because you ran last time, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I've only been in for 5 months, and I feel really close to these people. And I'm, so definitely that transition. And but like you said, even I had the conversation with folks in Vermilion County last week, just to confirm with them that they still wanted me to come. They were putting on an event for me. And I said, I still want to be there, but I understand if you want to wait now that you see the potential new map. And they said, no way, we're Democrats. We want to meet you. We want to connect. We're all going to be in this together. We're fighting for this state as a whole. And so come. And that was my mentality 100%. I was glad to hear it from them. And that's how we will all move forward with this too, for sure.
I'll share a story that comes to mind. Give people a little bit of an insight into what it's like to run for Congress and what we're talking about, these relationships. It can feel vague what we're saying, like, oh, we have relationships. It's not just working relationships. Like, these become very, close friendships. You sleep on people's couches and in their guest rooms, right? And they put you up to put them in their home office so that you can do work when you're on the road there, and eat dinner with their families and meet, and learn so much about them, the people that you're doing work with. I think, I had something happen in my family. It was a tragedy in my family, and it happened very suddenly. And I had a fundraiser that night in a house party in Bloomington. I called them and said, there's no way I can come tonight. And they said, "Oh, that's okay. We'll have it anyway." I'm like, what are you going to have it anyway? And the president of the IU Democrats went and spoke on my behalf. Sarah Blessing went, who and ran for
Yes.
State House, went and spoke on my behalf. And there were 50 people that were there, and probably the fundraiser went better without me there than than there. And like, that's what I mean. It's you have these people, just everybody pulling for one another, dropping what they need to when you're asked to pick one another up. And so
absolutely,
these relationships become very very strong.
Extended family. They do. You're exactly right. I'm glad you said that. I often, and I'm in my office now, so I don't have them on me, but whenever I go to events or go out, I've like gathered these like mementos. I don't know. And I always keep them with me because there are things people have given me, like a little bracelet that said frog on it. And it was like, it means fully relying on God. And I want you to keep this with you. And you're traveling around. And she gave me her story behind it and why she had originally gotten it and gave it to me. And there's a little painted foot rock, and she, on the back of it, it says, "Take small steps, it'll get you there," whatever. And I keep that with me, and they're just the most encouraging, meaningful things that I literally get to carry around, something to remind me of those people and stories and connections. It is so meaningful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad you said that.
And when it gets to be the summer, you're just getting into this. I mean, you've been in for a little bit, but when the summer comes and it really heats up, both in weather and in schedule, and into the fall, you're doing, if you're doing a 12-hour day, that means that's your break day, right? Right. Days go 14, 16, 18 hours long. Sometimes even more, and with driving in the car and windshield time, as they call it. And it's you're out there working hard and meeting so many people, hearing so many stories. And I've done that in all those counties that we're going to lose from this district, and I don't want to. I never want to lose those stories. I never want to lose those relationships. And on a personal level, I don't want to lose those connections. I don't want to stop calling and texting those people because they're not in my district anymore, right?
That's right.
It's not a transactional relationship anymore, right? Like, it's not, you give me, I'll give you some of my time, so you give me your vote.
Give me your vote. Right.
It becomes so much deeper than that. And
absolutely.
I don't want to lose those, and I hope we can keep them as we move forward. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. And either way, I think we can, but
yes,
but you're right. It becomes harder when you're not naturally in that heading into their home, their living room.
Not going to be in Batesville anymore.
And there are other living rooms that you need to be in. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to be in other people's living rooms and new counties' living rooms and understand them. Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you for doing this with me. I would like to invite the other candidates on as well. I think it's important that we all do this. And so if other candidates are watching, or if other people who are part of those candidates' teams are watching, please reach out to them and tell them to reach out to us here at Project Next.
Yes.
And let's do more of these, and especially as we regroup after this, whichever way it goes.
Yeah. We'll text tonight, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure. Actually, you know what? I'm going on a date tonight with my wife.
Good for you. Okay, well, I will not. Maybe tomorrow. That's great. What a night to go on a date. So you can either celebrate together or cry together or whatever.
Exactly. The other night, or the last time we did this was the Biden debate night, where he bumbled that debate so poorly, and the phone just was blowing up, and I was trying to ignore it, kind of thing. And so this time I'm sorry, I have to turn my phone off for at least a couple hours here and give my time to my wife.
So important.
Yes.
It's so important. Good for you.
Yeah. So
You've got to guard that. I'm glad to hear it. Although this is only the second after that debate. This is your
no,
next
no, no,
date
no,
that
no,
you've
no,
had.
no,
Okay.
no, no, well, yeah.
Just making sure.
No, it just
We got to do this more
reminds me
often.
of the last time we
Yes.
of one of the times that we
Yeah.
we did it, and it was just so. It was, well, let me say that it's a good point. It was the first time that I was so in the heated kind of battle of being a 12-hour a day candidate, like had grown into that point where I was making time for my family, and politics wanted my time, wanted my family's time too. Like
Yeah.
wanted, like saying, you give us that time. I don't care where you are. I want that time. And I think I've reflected on that a lot and learned about that and learned from that. And now this is my next opportunity. And I'm going to make sure I do the right thing, which is fill my cup, fill my family's cup, have the time that we need so that we can get right back to work the next morning. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, a lesson learned. So
yes.
maybe you can learn that lesson from me and not,
thank you. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Yeah, so important. And then you're energized too to continue to move on, get going with the next day yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Once
That's right.
you've done that. Well, have a lovely evening with your wife tonight. Thank you so much for having me on and having this conversation, and look forward to catching up soon.
All right, great. Yeah.